Good. That's what we say. I'm great, Chris. How are you? I'm Chris Stewart, everybody. Welcome to this very, very special screen. That was Highlander. As you can see, we're making room for one more guest. Because, for an old phrase, there can't be only one. There can't be only two. There can be only three. We have three amazing Highlander guests. Will you please welcome Christopher Lambert, Clancy and Celia Imrie.
Thank you.
That was a great rehearsal. Fantastic stuff.
Just the mic.
That was amazing. So welcome all. How are we all?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with the difficult questions. How are you?
Good.
So, Highlander, can you remember, all three of you, your first reactions when this crazy script landed on your desk? And Clancy, we'll start with you and we'll work our way down.
Yeah, I remember when it landed on my desk and I read it front to back in about record time and wanted to do it immediately.
And had it come
I
with a
had
note.
no idea who was in it.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to do
And presumably it came with a note saying, "You're the Kurgan."
it. I think that's what the part it was supposed to be.
And Celia, what about your reaction?
Well, I love Scotland, so any excuse. I didn't know who my boyfriend was going to be. But boy, was I thrilled when I met him. Except that, do you remember, Christoph?
Yeah, I do.
I was supposed to. He was supposed to lift me up
Yes,
onto
in the
his
hotel.
He was supposed to lift me up onto his horse to say goodbye just before the battle. And I took one look at you and I thought, well, I'm going to have to lift you up onto my horse tomorrow. There's no way you're going to get me off the ground. And you didn't. I had to run along beside.
The horse did. No, I mean, finally she was on the horse. But
I'm very thrilled that I'm in it.
for me, it was the romantic side of what immortality represented for me is everybody wanted to be younger through creams, plastic surgery, whatever, the search for a kind of immortality. And I thought that could be very touching, very moving, very actual. And I didn't read that script thinking, oh, it's another action sci-fi movie. I read it with all my heart about what it was about when you don't want to grow old. And I think today it's even more actual than 30 years later. That's all.
At the time, you were coming off Greystoke and Subway. Were you getting a lot of offers? Were you getting a lot of movies like this?
Not like this. No, not,
This is a one of them.
not only one. But you know, meeting the cast, meeting Russell is what you see is what you get. Russell, for me, still today, is, I don't like big terms, but I have to use one. He is still a visual genius today. He is somebody who invented something that a lot of directors are trying to mimic or trying to copy. They can't master, because what Russell is doing, everything he's doing, is coming from his heart. And a lot of things were written, creates something special. And then the meeting with Clancy, the Kurgan, I was scared. No, I was scared. I could tell you, you know, you meet somebody who is like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". Somebody big. And I was looking, saying, wow, I'm gonna have to battle that guy. Hell. Yeah, but just because, and in this movie, apart from Sean Connery, quote, nobody was famous, but everybody was right for the part that they were doing in the movie, and that's the most important. And everybody was very respectful of the crew. Everybody was on the same level. We were all trying to do a good movie, potentially. We didn't know. Even Queen was the biggest star of the movie. And really, and Queen, when they saw the movie, they were meant just to do the first opening song, Princess of the Universe. When they saw the movie, they said to Russell, we gotta do an album. Because they were so inspired about what immortality meant to them, that they decided to do the whole album back. And that's a proof that the movie was complete.
By the way, if you have any questions for our guests today, there's a microphone over there. If you could all just line up, not all of you, but those who have questions, if you could line up there, that would be great. We'll be coming to you in about 6 minutes. So the next question I wanted to ask you guys was about your characters and about the research, because not a lot of immortals running around and you can ask for experience. Clancy, the Kurgan, I mean, where the hell did that guy come from for you? I mean, that's a true one of that creation.
Well, I actually met an immortal in a pub outside Glasgow. That figured heavily into my characterization. You know, you do research, you just do a lot of sword fighting. At least for me, that's all I had to do. I didn't have to put on any accent, and I didn't have a lot of work to do. I had to pretend to love somebody and then pretend he was a witch, which is one of the most incredible turns in this movie. She's so hot and so desirable, Celia, at the beginning. She loves him so much, and then she just calls him. Scary as can be. The clothes has nothing on you. And then Christoph with Beatty, you know, when she's dying, as cheesy as that makeup is on her, and your shitty fucking accent.
I worked on it for 16 weeks.
Sean Connery had to.
Freddie is singing, and it gets me every time. It's one of the best parts of the movie, one of the most romantic parts of the movie. It's like so terrific, that part. You know, and it's you and Freddie and Beatty, and who cares about the accent?
That's exactly right. At one point, I just gave up. Be what you are. You love this woman, just tell her, I love you.
And see, that's exactly the point I was going to make about your character. Because that is quite an about turn. That's a big arc for your character to go through in this movie.
Well, but I loved him so much, you see, and then he died, and then suddenly he was alive. So, marvellous part though. 1 minute all Google eyes to him, and the next minute turning into a nightmare person. But actually, what a fantastic theme to run through. You're absolutely right. I hadn't quite realised how lasting it would be. But we all want to stay young, don't we? So it's quite weird for us.
What any of us are
three.
going to look like.
I think we're okay, actually. But I'm terribly proud to be in this film, and I love that it became such a cult. And I love that Freddie and Queen suddenly saw it and thought they were going to back it to the hilt, because it was a huge lift, wasn't it, to the whole proceedings when they put their music to it as well.
Yeah, and it was, what was interesting is that Freddie Mercury and Queen in general said, you know, we're gonna do the opening song, Princess of the Universe. And then you watch the movie, and he said, Freddie said, no, we're gonna do the album. And in 6 weeks, he wrote all the songs. And the album was ready in like 16 weeks. Was one of the fastest made album by Queen and one of the most successful. So he must have been inspired by something, which I have no idea. I don't know, but it was immediate. He got out of the theater, first screening, I mean it wasn't a screening, it was you know, a director screening. And he said, I'm gonna do the whole thing. So interesting, it's so good. It's not just an action movie. It goes deeper than that. And I agree with him, much deeper.
And in terms of the research you did for your character, did you read anything? How do you possibly research a character like Connor? Travel back in time?
I don't want to disappoint anybody, but you know, either I like a movie in general. I don't look about my character, I look about the whole movie. And I liked everything that was in this movie, but mostly because before being an action movie, it was a highly romantic movie. It was really about love. And I still think that today, love is the most important thing in the world. And, you know,
Shows with Venture Brothers on Adult Swim, where in the last season you feature as a character who has the ultimate speed suit. Is there a genesis to this? And you know, like, what is the reference basically in that show?
what's the show?
Venture Brothers. Venture Brothers. It's on a Cartoon Network time slot called Adult Swim.
But do you think it was based on Highlander?
Well, it's based on you. They reference
Based on me?
they reference Christopher Lambert, and he has the ultimate speed suit.
I'm gonna call my lawyer tomorrow. What can I tell you?
Okay.
Great? Great? Is he that fast?
Yeah, I'm sure they're huge fans,
On
but
every level?
I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. You are in high esteem on the show. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
No, not yet, but I will check.
Yeah, please do. And I have a really cheeky request for Mr. Clancy Brown. I'm really sorry. You probably get this all the time, but I would love to take. I hate selfies, but I would love to take a moody selfie with you. Would you be party to that with me?
Right now?
Yeah, just for a quick second. Would you do that?
Can we all have one?
Let's do that. Right. We've got a sort of moody selfie quota, and this is it. So
Don't
what
break
all good
his
ideas?
neck.
Hi, so I'm a little bit nervous. I wasn't expecting you to come up like straight away.
Eleanor.
So, well, before the movie started,
Okay,
I was
got
thinking,
you.
I was starting to think what I was going to ask to Mr. Christopher, but I'm so happy all three of you are right here because I was wondering, because the movie has become such a cult icon and so historically important, in retrospect, do you think, is there any part in the movie, any particular scene you would have liked to have done differently, or something you wish you would have added to it?
Good question.
It's one scene. It's a good question. Because, you know, everybody had such a good relationship. Really. Yes? Check it with the guy. Well, I was looking, saying, whoa, this guy's big. And in the church scene, I kept on grabbing his leather jacket, but with the leather jacket, I kept on grabbing his hair chest. And after 5 or 6 days, he was saying, Chris, try to grab the jacket without my hair. I thought, God, if I do it again, might kill me. and literally the 7th time or whatever, take 7, take 8 or whatever, I couldn't do it because the reaction was, and I was looking at his face like, just grab my hair again. And if I had to change something, which I would do today, I would just have grabbed the outside of his car. Yeah, it's one, and that is also one scene that I would change, that I would have changed on an acting level about myself. He was unbelievable. But I felt so sorry saying, how can I do that? But don't think about it, just do it. And I was doing it, and I was grabbing the hair with it. And it was, I felt the pain for it. You
Saw me cry. What would I change? Well, I nearly did change it. In our last duel, I told Chris that, I'm going to win. He didn't know this, but I've been talking to Greg White, and now I'm going to win this fight. That's what I would have changed. It would never be changed.
And Celia, what would you have changed?
Well, when I saw it, I just wished I'd had a bigger part. I wish I hadn't been left in Scotland.
There's always the sequels. Yes, please.
Hi guys, that's the first time I've seen it on the big screen. I mean, such a fantastic but great, and all three of you are here today. So I was thinking of a question I could ask all three of you. So there's this dreaded gossip rumour that there might be a remake, which seldom do they work. But I was curious.
Sounds like pretty popular.
I was just curious, who would you like to see play your parts?
Gosh, I've never heard that question before.
Well, I think Dame Judi Dench should play my part.
Technical question. The final scene where you're fighting Christoph in the final battle, just before you have your head cut off. Your eyes, do you have contacts?
Yeah.
It changes. And what was the
Oh, it was real.
We were kind of making up a lot of the effects as we went along here. So there was an idea that when that, what do we call that one?
The quickening.
When you chop somebody's heads off and you get
The quickening story.
It was some idea that there would be contacts to black out your eyes and stuff, and it didn't really work with me. I got the wrong drops in my eyes at some point, so we scrapped that idea, but they did it on the last one. They thought it would be important to do it on the last one. So we had some contacts in there. Good to see you.
Thank you. All questions should start with, just before you get your head chopped off. All questions.
So, just before you get your head shot. Actually, I really have one question, kind of two, but my main question is for Mr. Lambert and Mr. Brown. So the quickening, after the heads are coming off, there's so much special effects going in there, but you're kind of there like, ah. What did the director tell you? For your faces and body motions as that energy is going into your body.
That part was shot in Thailand. Cowboy shot, so we never knew what was going on. So, no, it was, you know, Russell, sorry girl, I'm sorry. Russell was just saying you're receiving this humongous energy. It's like having lightning going through you. So how would you react? If
I'd probably start smoking, fall on the ground. I'm not immortal.
no, but exactly. So as immortal, we're just like shaking and receiving that energy, and you know, I gotta tell you, at the time it felt great, and I think it would still feel great today. Your turn, Clancy.
I do remember
Thailand.
some kind of a storyboard thing where they were trying to figure out this effect, where there would be like reverse shot liquid, some kind of glowing liquid, and they never got to that. They never got around to that. So much was innovative in this movie. The fact that they didn't get to that one doesn't bother me so much. But all I remember thinking is, I gotta make this so intense because Chris has to top it at the end. So ridiculously silly that Chris has gotta make it even more silly.
And about 10 weeks, not 16 plus 10, within the 16, on this kind of where you coming from, lots of different places, accent. So, what accent you have? Lots of different places. I have no idea myself, you know. And then 12, 14 weeks, 15 weeks of training, sword practice for the routine, to know the moves, to to start with plastic sword, wooden swords, aluminum, steel, and heavy steel sword. And it's the only movie I didn't have a cut on, because Clancy was extremely precise, extremely trained. On number 2, number 3, number 4, I was more cut than I'd seen. I mean, it was cut all over, because people were thinking, well, the bigger the blow, the more it's going to sell it. No. Clancy was on that level, acting level, I'm not even talking about, because he's a great actor, but on an action level, he's a great partner, extremely precise.
That's Bob Anderson.
Yeah.
It's all Bob Anderson.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Just a really quick one. You know when you say, shh, it's kind of magic, you get shot. Is that why Queen has called it a kind of magic? Because that's like an iconic song. So did you get that come first, the dialogue?
The line came because I was looking at this little girl who, for me to put little kids, like, when I'm saying little kids, it's between 2 and 7, 8 years old, that are confronted with extreme violence, which was the case of that scene. You have to reassure them. And this line just came out of my mouth on the set for a small crew at that point. And I was just looking at her, and she was, maybe she ended up in a insane asylum. But I looked at her, and I said, shh, it's a kind of magic.
Ad lib.
And yeah, no, not ad lib, just instinct saying, relax, it's just magical. And that gave birth to Queen's song, It's a Kind of Magic.
Did you read some story accent, or did that just come naturally?
No. I spent 16 weeks, 3 hours a day in the morning on the Scottish accent, and then about 12, 14, whatever, on the sword fights.
And Celia, yours?
Well, no, my dad was from Glasgow, you see, so I was halfway there, which helped a lot. But also just being in that beautiful place, wasn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
Fort William, is that right?
Fort William, Glencoe.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was
Breathtaking.
Eileen Donnan.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Just
Isle of Skye.
Mm.
It was so beautiful.
And that's what's so wonderful about filming. You know, we didn't have to imagine the beauty of it. We were just transported there. So, and to be surrounded by a lot of Scottish crew helped. Yeah, exactly. But it was magical. It was magical.
Yeah.
I think films always should be magical. In fact, somebody gave me a wonderful quote once, which refers to plays as well. It's not logic, it's magic. And I love your line. I love your line.
And you know, I was playing as a French American citizen, Scotsman, facing a Scotsman who was playing a Spaniard. Wow, already the movie was really off. And Sean was kind enough, very discreetly, because he was a great human. He is a great human being, and discreetly, when I was off the Scottish accent, he was saying, Christopher, you should put the inflection on the A, then on the Z, that line. And I was listening to him. But I had a great coach too. And I'm sorry.
Really want to see a story go. Talk about origins, a prequel, how the Americans come about. Where would you like to see that go? And also, was Mickey Rourke originally up for the role of McCloud? Is that true? I just read it. I just googled it.
The only name I ever heard that was up for McLeod was Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
That's the only one I ever heard.
Yeah, me too. But the part was offered to Kurt before it was offered to me. Yeah, never heard of Mickey, which I've known pretty well, and I know pretty well. Kurt Russell. Turned it down, didn't get it. Didn't like immortality. Love, passion, romanticism. No, I think it's great.
And the other question was about the remake. What
Yeah, well, no one
we
wants
want
to
to
see
see
a complete
again.
carbon copy, but I was reading also about the origins. Prequel, where did all this come from? What direction would you like to see the sort of possible remake? Would you play a cameo?
So, we talked before about Highlander 2, the big battle on Highlander 2 was when Russell myself signed for Highlander 1, you know, most big, quote, blockbuster, wannabe American movies, you sign 1 and 2. So with no saying. So when they gave us the script, Russell was on board, I was on board, and the only thing I could say is during promotion, and I said it all over the world. I'm sure you can find some interviews on the internet. I said, if you guys, all the lovers of Highlander 1, think they're gonna see the sequel to Highlander in watching Highlander 2, don't go to the movie because it's got nothing to do with it. And the producers were saying, are you crazy? I said, no, I'm just telling the truth. The movie itself, Highlander 2, if you would call it Aliens from Another Planet, is a good movie, but it's not the sequel. So the producers tried to put it like way low, and I said I can't because it's not a sequel; it's a different movie. Number 3 should have been the real sequel to number 1.
Yep.
I would love to see the remake on more Kate's character and the motivation. The love story between her and Connor and how they fell out of love.
I'd fall in love with them both all over again. Christopher and Sean. Why not? And Clancy. I don't think you can touch it. I think this film is so gorgeous in its magic. I think anything to try and recreate it, I don't think would be a great pity. I think leave it as it magically is.
So to add what Kate is saying is, for 7 years, they've been developing Highlander, the remake, the reboot, or whatever you want to call it. It's been 7 years, still not out yet. Sean Connery might be a woman. So I know very well the head of the studio who is now holding the license to Highlander and said, it's not staying. Immortality is an actual subject, but stay as far away as you can as Highlander 1. For you, where are we going to find Queen today? Etc., etc., etc. So let's do a movie about immortality, but a different one.
Absolutely. And we got time for really, really, really quickly those 2 last questions.
7 questions and that's it.
Any make? Was it Ralph Lauren? Was it just nothing?
Was your
That's for
coat-
Christopher Lambert, por favor, please.
Was your coat Ralph
Coat.
Lauren or any particular make? The coat you wore?
Yeah, the iconic coat, no?
It was like a raincoat
Oh.
from Portobello Road. Like the 5-pound coat.
Brilliant. That's what I was hoping.
It was a regular raincoat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And please, Mr. Clancy Brown, you shaped our lives under communism just about in Prague. We redone your movies, well, all of you, and you also. We knew every sentence in Prague of the movie. And with my then boyfriend, who was a punk oi singer who still is, we crashed the car doing New York around the lamppost by the Charles Bridge. So I just want to thank you for wonderful life. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the last question from this lady here. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to ask, you had like really heavy sword. Did you ever hurt yourself with them?
Did you ever hurt yourself with your big swords?
Which one? No, we started for what I remember with wooden sword, like light, and then heavier wood, then aluminum, then steel, then heavy steel.